Today, I'm taking you inside a studio that fascinates the entire design world. This is DixonBaxi in London. People talk about their culture, their process, their pace, but very few ever get to see it up close. On this tour, you'll meet the founders Aporva Baxi and Simon Dixon, and you'll see their team in action. The energy, the flow, the way ideas move through the room. And as we sat down together, we had a frank, open discussion about how they actually work. The part most people never get to hear. As you watch, look for the little things. How they organise space, how they prepare for projects, how the team collaborates. Those details lift the mystery that's built up around this place. This is your exclusive inside look at one of the most respected design studios in the world. And trust me, what you're about to see explains exactly why.
So we can show you where Parrot. Oh, that's a.
Oh yeah, that's the. There you go.
Crisps.
That is the treat drawer. It's Thursday, so it's all the treats have gone and all the healthy stuff.
All of
is still
the
here.
hula hoops mainly.
Like the
good
hula
flavours gone
hoops, the
Tuesday.
Twix, chocolate bars, all of that is gone, and now we're left with a few dregs. But that gets restocked every Monday.
Processed goodness, like
Absolutely.
The fruit bars always.
do you remember these?
Yeah, exactly.
God, yeah. Love the.
Have a little sweetie jar with them in. They don't eat a lot of sweets.
But you can be a little bit healthy with the no branding there. There you go.
Love it.
Crispy seaweed.
Nice.
Love that.
Hula hoops. Right. So this is your first floor.
Yeah, this is the kitchen area. That's where we have a lot of our creative sessions. We all have lunch together there. Lots of little breakout areas. So the idea here is it's all open plan, so that's why there's glass in the meeting room, so everyone can see everybody, so there's a nice energy. And when clients come, they get a sense of the personality of the people.
So this at lunchtime becomes kind of chaos reigns where everyone's very healthy, I've got to say. Avocado salad with like all sorts of veg. Yeah, we have that.
Does that summon Simon?
Yeah, I'm like Mr. Ben. This is if we've won a project, we go.
Oh, I love that.
It's actually it's like the old guy in Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Oh shit, yeah. Actually, the reason we have that, and we have a few, is that when we're doing presentations and so on, rather than break into a presentation to show appreciation, ring the bell.
Yeah, I love that.
So it's like, yeah, I agree. That's amazing. Yeah.
See, all the fruit's gone.
All the fruit's gone, but
Yes.
you're left with some
What is
sweet
that?
Scandinavian
The Scandinavian
salt sweeties.
salt sweets. Nice.
Salt sweet.
Yeah. Actually, take a look at this wall. We change this every couple of weeks, but this is the photography that everyone took for our Paradiso week.
Nice.
Yeah, our week off. Do you know about Paradiso?
I do know about
do.
Paradiso, yes.
So these are just some of the photos. So we were in Hoxton Docks and we closed the studio for a whole week. So no work, no computers, nothing. And the whole week was about being together, sharing stories, the feeling of creativity. So everything from life drawing to just making these amazing installations to just hanging out to very personal talks. But it was pretty amazing, right?
Yeah.
Really good.
I'm recognising a few faces as well.
Yeah.
Ben Talon
Yeah,
That's right.
and Redeem.
We're doing.
Yeah.
Ben turned up, which was nice. We've known Ben a long time.
Yeah.
He's a
good
lovely,
egg.
lovely guy.
He
Super
is.
creative, and we were just talking earlier. He's one of those people that radiates great energy. We've done his podcast twice, and that's how we originally met him. But our paths crossed a lot, and that's Hector and Marco, who were in on Monday. They're the guys who started Paradiso, and obviously Hector started and ran off for 25 years.
Yeah.
Super creative people. So we're doing the brand with them, but it's not really a brand in a traditional sense because it's about what we were talking before about like generosity and community and bringing people together creatively and then deciding what to do with that rather than it being preconceived. And it's kind of anti the structure and the kind of traditional way of doing things. So they're really smart and creative.
So brand as a feeling, an idea, something that we share. But actually, this was one of the first times we were able to lay out the entire remix book, all 500 pages of it. It's a huge space at Hoxton Docks. So we laid it all out and it was just fantastic to see that. Okay, yeah, so the reason we create the book, it's a snapshot of the studio. So it's the last 18 months rather than a retrospective. And what we love about it, it's got this layered quality that captures not only the spirit, but how we work. So the work on the wall, the team working together, moving around the studio. So what you're seeing here is layered conversations from Slack, long conversations that Si and I had about all parts of creativity, from generosity to running a studio and everything in between. So you really get a sense of the kind of an immersive quality of what the studio feels like. And it's everything from the last 18 months.
And all of these are different. What does it shows you how everybody interacts with each other.
Yeah.
So they're slightly random, but the way they use emojis or phrasing is really interesting. It tells you a lot about the personality of the person.
Do you have an emoji that you use a lot of?
And mine are all positive. So there's a lot of like handshakes. We've got a dancing blob and a dancing parrot that I like a lot.
Yeah, they're really good.
The blob one I particularly like because there's a little blob that does this.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. It's blue. So I like that because he's got a nice energy.
Oh, is that on Slack?
Yeah. And a lot of emojis now have a different meaning to what they used to do. So you have to be careful about...
Peaches and aubergine.
Oh, no. We're definitely beyond that. Yeah, we're definitely beyond
Even the colours of hearts and so on. So you just need to be mindful of that.
Yeah, you have to be sensitive about what you post and what language you use.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I found out that the eyes emoji that I use a lot because of the Creative Boom Band on, I think, one of the dating apps means let's get it on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Well, I still use it.
Yeah. Well, it's part of your identity.
It's a platonic, let's get it on. That's how you're using it.
Let's get it on creatively.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get it on as a community, but not sexually.
But not in a kind
Or
of,
suiting that.
you know, after
You
hours
see,
kind of
there's a
way.
lot of stuff.
It's beautiful.
And the idea is, in a world that is highly digital, it's quite nice to make something that's a permanent record of a period of time. Because we won't look at this very often. The fun of it is making it. Yeah. But at some point down the line, you might just flick through it and there'll be a little memory of that particular year, which is 2025 this year.
Yeah.
So this year, 2025.
Right.
So it'll be like a nice little memory.
And look, most of our stuff is on a screen somewhere. It's on a Mac, an iPhone, or wherever. But it's just really nice to see at scale. So there's a cinema to it. This is actually 12 by 12, so it's like a gatefold almost. So every spread has this sense of scale to it.
Each square is the same size as a 12-inch record.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's like a gatefold. So there's a little nod to the past of how we got into design, doing music industry stuff.
Love.
But this is, these are all textures of the project. So it's like color palettes, or this is part of a Super Futures project that we did for Hulu. This is a texture of street photography and things that we take, bits of parody. So, but it's just a chance to have a little bit of fun, really, and make something that has a kind of a nice kind of physical, resonance to it.
Who likes cheese?
He is called WK.
WK. And
Andrews?
Andrew.
WK Andrew?
I think so. We always
He's
forget.
an early 2000s indie guy.
Yeah.
So that still is one of the very first projects we did called MTV2. So we thought it'd be fun to put it on the back.
Nice. That's a real kind of labour of love. How long did it take you to make that?
A year.
Yeah.
It took a year.
Yeah. I mean,
a
everyone's
lifetime
involved.
to get to that.
Everyone's involved in it.
You're not an overnight success.
We are not. We are, was it a 24-year overnight success?
Yes. That
I'm a
would be cool.
36-year overnight success,
Wow.
technically.
What defines success?
Being fulfilled and happy.
Love it.
Yeah. I think so.
Love it.
Ever the eternal optimist.
Yes.
Right, well, come this way.
Curmudgeon-y inside.
Okay, after you.
Do you want to go downstairs?
Well,
Yeah.
we're going to look at your
Oh,
memorabilia.
you're going to look at the memorabilia, yeah.
Because it's, if we're talking about the past.
Great. We can look at our football jerseys.
So, this is one of our many sets of shelves, our Vitsoy shelves, which we're happy about. But what you're seeing here is just memorabilia from the 20 years. We've got so much more than this, but it's old vintage, the original iPhone,
Nice.
original iPod.
Oh.
Yeah, which is amazing, from 2002.
I love that you've kept that.
I personally have a collection of old vintage Nintendo Game & Watches. And this is just one of them. This is Oil Panic. So we have
remember
lots of beautiful things on here, from Bolex cameras to this, which is our collection of football shirts, especially this AC Milan one,
Nice.
which we're very proud of.
Sent that to us as a gift after we finished the project.
Very, very nice.
There's an Everton shirt in here somewhere.
There's Everton shirt.
Lovely. That's special,
It's
isn't
quite
it?
nice every time we do a project.
A little bit of F1 as well.
Is it not in any order? Have you just...
No, we just stick them up
Just
there.
whack them up there.
They're different things as well. Just pass us that pink one. Like this one.
Yeah.
Like this one is a Roma shirt, which was signed by Totti, one of the great players. We had an intern who was working with us, and we chatted a lot about football. And one of his family members worked at AC Roma. And one day I was sent this as a gift and a thank you, and he got it signed by Totti.
Wow.
It's sweet, isn't it?
That's very sweet.
Yeah. And Ali here is our senior writer. Hi, Ali.
Hello.
You won an award the other day. What was that?
I won the Women in Marketing Brand Copywriting Award.
Nice.
Tuesday, the work that we did for See the Signs. And yeah, they're a cancer brand. They use AI to detect cancer early. And we wrote a really interesting story and built a really cool brand as well.
Amazing. Congratulations. Sounds like a great client as well.
Yeah, they're really great client. That was the one that... oh, thank you. That was the one that Sai spoke about earlier,
Yeah.
which is amazing. But yeah, we've also got an arcade machine, and you're like proudly kind of like there as well.
Is this... where's this come from? You or Aporva?
No, me. I love video games.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I from the ZX81 back in like late 80s through every kind of arcade machine and video game. But yeah, we have this in studio. We've got everything from Pac-Man to Bomb Jack, and there's 60 games on here. So
You've got
yeah,
Bomb Jack.
yeah. I love that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Cancel the...
So I used to go swimming, and then finish with a bag of chips and play Bomb Jack.
Where's Bomb Jack? How do I get to that?
I think you go through the menu here. We've got 60 games. Let's see if we can find it. There's so many.
Oh my God, there's so many.
Yeah, no,
classics.
there's Space Invaders. There it is. Okay, Bomb Jack. Do you remember this?
I do. It's one of my favourites.
There you go. I don't know. You can have a blast on it if you want. This is, you jump, and then this, you remember that?
Yeah.
There you go.
Amazing. Ah!
Fantastic. So I come up here sometimes just to do this, clear my head.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I'm
amazing.
a huge fan. I
Are
love
you?
video games. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I grew up with them when I was 7. Had a ZX Spectrum.
Yep, ZX Spectrum. I went
then-
Commodore 64.
Oh,
Yeah. And
Atari
then
ST.
I did Amiga.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I went to PS1.
And then I went to PC and then a PS1.
Okay, PS1, then 2, 3, 4, and so on. I had an Xbox in between, a Dreamcast. Yeah.
How
I
many
kept all
consoles
of
have you
them.
got now? Oh, we.
I kept all of them, so maybe like 10, all original boxes.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Do you have any current ones?
PS5.
PS5.
Yeah, we got one in
Xbox.
studio. Xbox.
I've got a
Switch.
Switch.
2.
No,
I
just
got Switch
the
2.
original one.
Yeah, no. But very fun. Very fun. No time to play them.
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah. Thanks, Ali. Sorry to kind of cancel.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Just everybody dotted around enjoying the
Would you like
space.
to take a trundle downstairs?
Let's do it.
Yeah, so down here is most of humans at DixonBaxi.
Yeah.
As we said, they kind of roll around, they go upstairs, downstairs. So here's the motion team, through the designers into the kind of creative directors, more designers, you have writers, strategic team, the growth team. I sit in the very far top right corner over there.
Nice. Overseeing everything.
But it's an open desk, right? So people just wander over any time. It's very flat in that sense, in terms of how people kind of talk and spend time together.
And if you walk over here, obviously breakout sessions are producers and operational team are over here.
Yes. Wow. Nice big space.
On the wall here is different projects. Now, typically, They will be the projects that we're working on at the moment. We've had to get rid of those because you're filming here, and of course the work is confidential.
Yeah.
But the idea is what Aporva was talking about, which is you can see the work contextually. So when you look at work on a screen, even something like Figma, there's a lot of visual overload. There's a lot of looking at things sequentially. When you put things on the wall, you can see kind of happy accidents. So as you're looking around, you see something, it might kind of soak into your mind, and then intuitively later it might give you a different idea.
Yeah,
or
it's
you
great.
might make links otherwise. The other thing is it just creates a culture of not being afraid to share work when it's not perfect. Because one of the things is there's a lot of tension when you're creating work and it's not right. You have to pull new things out. So when it's on the work and and in a sense it's not quite finished, it's just building a tolerance that it's okay. If it's not right, we'll move to something else.
Yeah.
And then there's another kind of outcome to that, which it kind of excites everybody. So someone sees someone doing cool on this project, it won't directly influence this project, but it might inspire them to do something different that's cool. And none of it is really competitive. It's just adding creative energy to the studio.
It allows us all to see and make sure there's distinction between projects, because that we don't want one project to bleed to another, because they're all different stories and they have to feel distinct. So those recipes I was talking about earlier need to make sure that we don't kind of cross the stream, so to speak.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters reference there for those.
Yes, no, I know.
But it's kind of critical to do that, and it gives us a world view of where we're headed.
Yeah, love it.
Which is amazing.
But if you're working on ITV,
Yeah.
it's obviously completely different to working with a Formula One, which is like a visceral sport.
Yeah.
So it's about understanding whether or not the work is going to work for the end audience. Is it going to make sense to them?
Yeah.
And things which have value to them. So you're actually seeing if the work is tangible and it makes sense, and the strategies and the ideas pop at first glance. Because when the work goes into the world, you're not stood next to it going, this logo works, this piece of design works. The audience tells you whether or not it does. So by having it on the wall, we're constantly reminding ourselves whether or not the concept is coming through. And then when you're on the system, you're looking at the videos, the digital, the interaction of things, or how it moves, and seeing if that works as well. So you're testing it both physically and digitally. Because for us, if you think about it like a UX journey for someone, it's real world all the way through digital. They're not separate things.
We really like things in the real world. All this stuff lives on a screen, and Formula One, it's in Vegas now, but it's all over the world. But it's really nice to capture the process to get to the work. So although this may not make it onto the track or in the environments, this gives you an idea of some of the work we do to get the energy behind it. So a lot of the brands that we make have to have a spirit. Yeah. And an attitude, and this was all about being iconic to audacious. So Tasha, one of our creative directors, she did this. She had a week. Yeah, let her do it.
Coming along.
Get to it. I'm checked through.
And then this is the actual work itself. But yeah. Hello. Do you mind?
Hello.
Hi. This is Katie.
Nice to meet you.
Have you met?
Fangirling.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
of
amazing.
course. Yeah, this is kind of like a representation of what we thought was missing from Formula One as an experience.
Yes.
And it was trying to capture like the energy of the teams, the kind of technical side of it. This is like the radio of the drivers speaking to their team. And
Oh, that's clever.
sort of exposing all the stories that you don't necessarily get to experience in such a big global brand.
Yes.
And getting into like the details and the texture. This was quite a cool one. We wanted to like expose exactly. 40% of the fans are female, but it's not really represented. And
it isn't.
who is an F1 fan. So this is like a anatomy of a super fan. So it's like X-ray mode. It's everything that they have and love, but it's not gendered. So
I love that.
had that, and then we're looking at localization, trying to represent the different, regions, and there's 24 different races over the
There's
year.
a lot to think about.
So trying to think about that, and just like messing with it. I think just trying to break it.
How long
to a
were you
certain
working
point.
on this then? Because this is a big project.
We probably worked on it for about 4 or 5 months altogether. But
But
the
this bit
one
was
one wall, we kind of took over this wall, and I did it in
This though is
4 days.
there's a bit of our process called Inspire, which is I was going to say an ignition phase,
Yeah.
which would be a really bad pun for Formula One. But yeah, the idea is to make lots of things and see what you feel before you commit to the actual work.
Yeah.
And it's cool, isn't it? Because when you put it on the wall, you get a snapshot of some, like you say, some of the things that might be missing, or ways of sharing with different audiences that are not condescending or shutting them out.
Yeah. And also, we did this before the brief. So it's kind of like before the team were briefed in. So it's like all the things that you would do if you didn't have any rules to follow. And a lot of those, you know, we wouldn't necessarily do this with the logo, but like, where can we take it and have them playing with, like, you know, messing with their typography and the art direction that feels a bit more kind of editorial, I suppose, than what they might show now. And then this is sort of what the brand became.
That's
We have some like wild sides and then more technical. So it's the kind of richness that it has now.
It doesn't feel like you're at work here. It feels like you're just playing.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun.
It's
Yeah,
serious
you have
play.
to.
Oh, it is.
No, I'm kind of joking, but if you think about it, if you do, what Tasha's saying is, you sit down with a brief normally, and as soon as you get a brief, you kind of go a bit tense, don't you? Because I've got to make the work, the blank page. Whereas if you make something intuitively, you've had conversations, you know what Formula One is, you know what it means to people, you've thought about different audiences, and then when you make intuitively, a lot of that strategy and insight in your mind flows out, and it creates something really expressive, and then you can decide what you've won. And it gives you some fuel or some energy when you actually do the work. So play is, it's like invention, isn't it? It's making something without any pressure on you. And also, to a certain extent, it's going too far to come back to the place that's right. If you don't go far enough, you don't ever test anything. So when you see this, a lot of this won't be in it, but it's...
You set the tone.
You set the tone,
You
exactly.
did this, and
Exactly, it sets the tone.
You know, it allowed you to figure out what you felt about the brand and how it came to life.
I think the other thing that I didn't expect when I did this is that other people in the studio were getting excited about it. So they're like, oh, I want to work on that. It seems fun. So you're kind of almost like, you know, showing how you can take control of things, and it's not hopefully going to be me all the time.
I want to play. I want to get involved.
Yeah.
But you are inspiring people, aren't you? Because when Tasha when I saw this, I was like, fuck me, this is great. So it's super fucking exciting. And I've seen a lot of projects. I mean, absolutely tons of projects. But if you get a feeling when you first see the working, you feel that knot in your stomach, and you're like, shit, this is exciting. It radiates out, and then you put it on the wall, and other people see it, and they're jazzed, and they go to their work. It won't look anything like this, but it will put something in their mind and excite them. And I think that's a lot of, when you're talking about play, that's what it's really about, which is, if you make something with no end result, Tasha's personality's in this, and her raw creativity's in this, and that's a fucking awesome thing.
Probably need to pare it back a little bit.
But you know, there's a lot of really high quality work in a short space of time, because Tasha was in the zone. She had the flow state going. And we all feel it differently, don't we? But you were obviously in that state, which is amazing.
But we want to keep hold. The reason why we make these newspapers and so on is to keep hold of it and to validate the process. Because oftentimes, you know, this is like, oh, it's just stuff that we did to get to the final thing. Oftentimes, this has the most energy and attitude. So we want to validate the fact that you go on this journey, but along that journey, we develop so many interesting things.
This was a kind of interesting one because I was slightly feeling a little bit rebellious.
Like being rebel.
And I wanted to put my stamp on things, and I had a bit of space. So I think I totally did get in the zone, and it was quite a kind of like a messy process. But if I felt like I was expressing what I wanted the brand to be in some way. So that's kind of it, really. Just and hopefully just doing something that's a bit like exciting. It doesn't feel like it's restricted, because that sort of happens with global brands. That
Like
working on.
Aporva was saying before, the bigger the brand, the more spherical they become.
Yeah,
The
sort
edges are kind of
round.
so there's not as much things. Like, I was listening,
Taking note.
paying attention. 10 out of 10.
But then, that's sort of like that's an impression that you have. But then when you do something like this, it sort of like rips up the rule book a bit, and then hopefully shows other people they can do, like, go their own way. Slightly. And then we can find something that everyone gets excited about.
Yes.
And then make some cool posters. At the end of the day, like sometimes we just put this work up to like remind ourselves of where we want to get to, or where we want to be in terms of energy. It might not make sense, as a system yet, but it's kind of like tonally just gives you something more maybe than a kind of slick brand system.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it felt. And then it's weird how you go back to these things. This was like maybe a year and a half ago. We're still going back to it. So obviously that those 4 days of like raw expression, they keep giving more kind of energy to the space, which is kind of interesting. So you have to take those moments and like go underground almost and see what comes out of it. And do something unexpected, I suppose.
And then it informs how you move forward with other projects. I mean, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, it's fun. Just want to shout about it a bit more, this one, but we've got to keep it under wraps.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We're currently working on a paperback book, which is a conversation between Aporva and I about the work that goes between the work. And it's our kind of view of what it takes to run an agency for any period of time.
Yeah.
It's quite candid, actually. And it came from the remix book. We did a conversation, but we've expanded it to a much bigger manuscript. We've had an editor help us with it. So that will be published very soon.
Nice.
So that's a nice project. And the idea is to share with people that you don't always know what you're doing. And it's okay not to know what you're doing. It's okay to do it different ways. So there's a lot of kind of war stories and opinion and various different.
It's a little bit like our conversation, really.
Yeah.
But on just different subjects, whether it's kind of, as I said, running a studio, generosity, rejecting convention, and a whole host of things. So it's ethos and anecdote, but it's got a really nice rhythm. And hopefully it kind of supports the idea that being creative or the idea of designing is part of life, and life is part of designing. So it's kind of this blur between the two.
It feels like you're talking to your younger selves a little bit.
Yeah, you're basically saying the younger version of yourself who started the agency had no idea these things would happen.
Right.
But what people say is, what mistakes did you make? And it doesn't work like that. What it actually is the things you didn't know you would need to know. So when you start an agency, you're usually a creative who doesn't know how to run a company, a business, or the structure. So you have to learn about money and people and processes, structures, communication, finding clients, changes in technology. So what you realize is not about making mistakes. It's actually about what you need to learn as you develop to become the agency you want to be. So a lot of that's about that, basically.
Yeah. And you have to be porous. You have to accept those learnings and hopefully change yourself. So a little bit of emotional intelligence or self-awareness is a critical part of that, and you get that internally from your own reflection, from reading, or from conversations like this, or from everyone around you.
This is very nice. Aporva and I have just passed 30 years of working with each other.
Yes.
So Mr. Baxi got me a bottle of beautiful wine that we're going to drink some evening from 1995 to celebrate from when we met. So we've been working together ever since.
How much does that set you back? Did you get it from Aldi?
Yeah,
It's an Aldi special, actually.
Yes,
it's
it's
just
an
the
Aldi
box
special.
that cost a bit.
I've actually drunk the wine and I've put
You've poured some
some
Aldi
little red wine in. Yeah,
Oh, little. Wow, you've gone upscale.
this is nice as well. I had a meeting with someone yesterday where I gave them advice, and she'd pre-made a series of notebooks to the team.
Sweet, isn't it?
That is sweet.
Yeah.
So you talked about this thing of interacting with the industry. There's a lot of reciprocal generosity with people, and this is the heart shape that we used in our VMAs project. So she made this little booklet for everybody.
That's so
notebook.
cute.
Isn't it sweet?
It's
Yeah.
very
So we
sweet.
get lots of little things like that. Really lovely.
Makes the world go round. Makes
It
Yeah, it
does.
does. It's like it's
Yeah,
nice.
little moments, random acts of kindness.
Just spotted this.
Yeah.
That's really you on the front of Time magazine.
It's a very sweet card.
Just open it again. That is sweet.
Would you like to see a really bad picture of
It's
it?
so cheesy.
In the 90s,
Yes.
we had
Oh my God,
we were
shocking.
not doing drugs at this point.
Oh my goodness.
That's in North Harrow when we first met, or Harrow. This is in St. Louis. And then I don't know what this is. But yeah,
What are you wearing there?
exactly.
It's in New Orleans.
New Orleans, that's right.
Creative
It's
conference.
New Orleans.
Isn't it terrible?
So,
Put that on there.
And this
Yeah.
picture, I don't know where they got that from.
You both look very kind of fashion editorial there, whereas this is
shocking, isn't it?
Creepy. But that's it's really creepy, isn't it?
It is.
There's a little bit of my belly showing there. It's
So
like,
his tummy sticking out.
You're doing a kind of Saturday night thing.
yeah. Well, we're off. for
Look
a
at the
night
room
out.
that we're in. We like let's sharing the room as well.
Can we recreate this now?
No,
No,
but this
that's for then.
this is one of our early studios, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Which one is that?
No, that's back in the Harrow days.
Oh, it's Harrow.
Yeah.
Of course, that's in Harrow.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Memory.
Well, there you go. Memories. No, it was very nice for the team to give us that.
And we
Yeah,
were
they made
given
us a t-shirt as
given
well.
Rachel, our principal, made this T-shirt. Got this T-shirt for us.
Nice. Of driving each other crazy. Do you drive each other crazy?
I drive him crazy, but not the other way around.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at handling it.
You're a bit yin and yang. You really
Yeah, kind of, but
balanced.
not really balanced, I would say.
We share, there's a lot of overlap, but there's enough difference to make it interesting.
Yeah.
Because if we were too overlapped, it wouldn't work, and if we were too different, it wouldn't work. So there's a bit of a Goldilocks thing.
like a marriage, really.
Which is exactly like a marriage. One of my favourite designers ever. This is our typographer. It's Wolfgang Weingart. And then this is another personal favourite,
This is beautiful, that poster there.
8VO.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, the 8VO one.
Yeah.
So when I first started designing, these folks were making some of the most beautiful work, typographically, design-wise, in the world, I think. And I think they're one of the very, very great British design agencies of all time. And Weingart was a Swiss typographer and lecturer, and did some really great work.
The thing
So
is, this,
it's one of the
this
things I've
looks
ever studied.
so modern. It's just, there's such a beauty to it. So this is before, it's before computers, right? Or did they?
No, on
it's
the edge.
just on the cusp.
I think that's digital.
Yeah, but it is absolutely stunning. Screen print original.
This is from Paradiso.
Nice. I really like this.
And what we did was, if you go to our joiners site, there's a video that plays of all of these Polaroids being taken. So we took a picture of every single person as a kind of memento of the week we spent together. It's like a creative sabbatical, basically.
Yeah. They all look so happy and fulfilled.
This was the end of the week. Yeah, it's just
They
beautiful.
were fueled on, creativity and sharing and that duty of care we talked about. And
It was really nice. It just, everyone lined up. Koki was taking the photos and the video. So you got this very kind of natural progression of everyone kind of participating. And this one here is Sai and I sat on all the prints for Remix, which is kind of
doing
like,
our Tears for Fears pose.
Nice. Aporva, Simon, thank you so much for having us, Creative Boom, in where the hell are we?
Wharf Road near Old Street, at the edge
Amazing.
of Shoreditch.
How long have you been here?
I'd say seven years. Is that
2019.
right? 2019. There you go.
Nice.
We bought the studio just before COVID.
Yeah, just before
So
COVID.
we thought we had a white elephant for about a year.
yeah,
And we fitted it out while we
yeah.
were out.
Actually, what you see here is completely different to how we moved in. It was a shell, so it's just kind of a metal floor, the beautiful air conditioning, and that's about it. And it was just 2 floors. And then, over the years, we've kind of learned how to make it, creative space, creative home.
It looks beautiful. How many people are here now?
57,
50.
including us.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
Are you planning to expand and grow, or is this a nice, comfortable number?
We are growing slightly because we're expanding our LA studio. So we're hiring there at the moment. So that will grow the company by definition.
Whereabouts in LA?
Culver City.
Culver City, yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, we have a lot of our works out there, right? 60 to 70% is in the States. We're always there. A lot of our clients and relationships are there. So it just makes sense to do that. I mean, we have a real affinity with that part of the world. So it feels very natural, but super exciting for us.
Do you always fly out there business class or is it economy? Do you have to save on things, especially with his wardrobe of, complete black?
Yeah, my entire outfit is less than this can. We do fly business class. It's
You don't have to answer that.
no, I don't mind answering it. There's two reasons. One is if you fly that far, you need to be rested.
Oh, you do?
The second thing is it's the one thing that I spend money on that is like a personal thing, because I like the feeling of the quiet and the calm.
Yes.
So it's like an investment in me.
Away from the plebs.
Yeah. Well, it's not about being away from the plebs. It's just about de-stressing your life. If you fly a lot and you travel a lot, it's you're lucky enough to be in our position. It's one of the things I think that you get from, I guess, what any form of success you get.
Yeah.
It takes time though.
Yeah,
I mean, we've done all sorts of flights, 24-hour cycles to India in economy and so on and so forth. But yeah, as you go through life, and certainly because, we're doing a lot of travel, for us and the team, it's just a really nice thing to do.
Saying that, we're going to fly the entire team to Mexico for Paradiso in March of next year.
Yeah.
So for us, travel is about life experience and, human connection, really. So if you go and meet people, you know what it's like when you travel. We were talking about being in Lancaster recently for a talk.
Yeah.
If you go and meet people in that community, you feel differently if you meet them remotely. Mm-hmm. And our work is based on being fluent in people, and just understanding how people work and cultures work, and realizing that we share a lot more than we think we do. But the things you don't understand or interested in those differences are really useful. So I've always really liked going to where people are.
Yeah, it builds rapport, definitely.
Yeah.
Last time we were in Lancaster, we were talking about favourite childhood biscuits, and I just said I like Satsumas, and you put it in your talk.
I did.
Thanks for that.
Well, Satsuma's an inherently funny word, isn't it?
It is. It's one of my favourites.
I was in a particularly goofy state of mind that day.
We had fun, didn't we?
We did. It was an unusual talk.
It's a very healthy choice, though.
Oh,
I've got to say,
100%. I had good parents.
That's very
well.
good. Did you have biscuits in the house, though? That's what.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You did.
Penguins, gold.
Penguins, clubs.
Do you remember gold bars?
Well, you had a posh house.
Yeah. Oh, was I?
Yeah,
Why? What did you have?
We were lucky to get a lump of coal.
Just a lick of a lump of coal.
Always. Yeah. So you have 57 people here.
Yeah.
And it's over 2 floors, 3 floors?
That's right. It's two floors. Yeah. It's great because over that time, over the 6 years, we've been able to adapt and learn how the space works. So we have meeting rooms and so on. But what's fantastic is that everyone works on a laptop, which is a common thing, but it means that we have people just moving around and sitting in different areas, with a coffee area or, around a big table. So the team move as they need to. So it's got a really nice energy.
You'll see, if you spend some time here, you'll see that the people just cycle around.
Yeah.
Because each session, and they're not really meetings, they're, if we're doing a creative session, for example, we call it a campfire, and there's one going on in the room next door, and that's just laying the work out, and what you're trying to figure out is what you've won, and trying to let everybody share a voice in that session so everybody can talk about what they feel about the work.
Yeah.
And then, you drift over and some people are just doing a pick-up meeting about sending something out. The producers might be on little mini calls. So it kind of just fluctuates, and then everyone has a space downstairs. And they kind of settle in there occasionally. So sometimes you go downstairs and everyone's there. It's like it's crazy energy. And then it just drifts again. So it just means there's a degree of flexibility to how it goes. And we're in the studio together 3 days a week. And then we have 2 days when we're not together. And that feels like a nice balance.
Yeah.
It gets extremely lively at lunch.
Does it?
Yeah, because everyone, we bring food in for everyone, so they're making salads and so on. So there's a cacophony of things. And it's just really lovely because even if they go out to get some food, they come back and they just sit around, and it's kind of a family lunch every day, which is fantastic.
I like that. It does feel like a family when you talk to people who work here. And was that something that you really kind of, when you set out and started DixonBaxi, you were like, this is the values that we would like to see? Or was it something that just naturally evolved?
It evolved. We got better at it.
Yeah.
I think when we started the agency, we weren't as emotionally intelligent as we are now, I think, and not saying we are emotionally intelligent. I wouldn't even profess to being intelligent, never mind emotionally intelligent. But I think we've got better at understanding that.
For sure.
And I think our team, Rach, Sarah, Marta, Dan, Harry, Hayden, they all have the leadership team, Carolina, Marcel. They all have a kind of duty of care for their teams, and it goes up and down because you learn from the less experienced members of the team, and they learn from you. So there's a kind of reciprocal energy. So I think what we've done is we've always had principles that drive the agency, because we believe that if you have principles, it gives you something to lean against when you're trying to make a decision. And what we try to do is create a culture where there's a shared ambition and a shared sense of drive, because I don't think it's really like a family. I think you want to have an emotional connection with people. You want that relationship to be truthful and honest and as candid as possible. But we all actually have families. So our job is to create a space that people can feel safe, part of something, have shared voice, feel like they're growing and developing. And then what you want is that for everyone to feel like we're all going in the same direction, but individually they're growing on their own path as well. And that's the balance, I think, is trying to create an entity which has nearly 60 people in it, but the person inside that feels like it's their journey personally as well as group one. And that's the thing we're trying to balance all the time.
There's a lot of care and attention, similar to your LinkedIn posts, which do my head in because they're just, absolutely brilliant. And don't know where he gets all his ideas from. It's just like brilliant.
Well, people, when you and I talk, I always learn something.
Do you?
I do, yeah.
Wow.
Can
you pass me the knowledge on?
Puns.
I think they end up in those posts. It's that's good.
Eat more vitamin C. But you do, you pick things up, don't you? So on any given week, I have tons of meetings. And in any given year, I have hundreds of meetings. And in every one of those meetings, I think there's an ability to pick up either learnings or insight. And if you're curious, you find out about people. So, I had a chat yesterday with a creative, somebody who was not sure about their journey. They felt a little bit stuck, and they were trying to decide whether or not to stick or twist in their career. Yeah. And I was saying, you really just have, really. And the person knew they had to leave the role they were in.
Yeah.
But what they needed was a kind of sounding board, somebody to talk to about that, because they couldn't talk to the person that they were working with. Not that that person's doing them any harm. It's just that they felt like they needed change. So what I do is I think about that and I go, well, if I write a post about that, more people than the person I spoke to could maybe get that information.
Yeah.
So the idea is to be a bit more open source about the fact that not everybody works the same way as everybody else, and not everybody has to work the same way as everybody else. There's lots of different paths.
I think that's
the reason.
It's critical. I think the journey that we've been on is to learn that. It takes practice. You don't just become a creative leader. You have to kind of do the hard graft. You have to make the mistakes and learn from everyone. And I think, because we have so many different nationalities here, you get different perspectives. You've just come back from India, so you get kind of embraced by that, and then hopefully hugged, and you come back with new stories. And I think we find that every day. I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, not just grabbing a slice of toast and stuff, getting my biscuits. But it's a great way of, because everyone's kind of doing their thing, right? They're focused on a project, but they all come up for water, tea, whatever. Yeah. And you get a temperature of everything, and it's a great way of just jumping into what they're working on. So whether it's helping them on a project, or they're stuck on something, or it's just to release something, it's a great way of figuring out, how to help everyone. I think that journey is critical, because one thing we've learned, I think to echo Sai, is that everyone's got their own lived experience. And that lived experience is not necessarily the same as the person next to them. So it's just to get that, and I think it's important to be cognizant of that, and then hopefully help people through their day, their week, their year, their career.
And helping them realise that their story is important just as much as everybody else's, because God, I'm only just realising I've got a lived experience. As a journalist, it's like you're not important. You're the sort of background.
Sure.
So
But you are important, aren't you? Because you're
well, no, this isn't all about me.
no, but it is no, but you
But
are
you're
important.
pivotal
You
to
are
making
important
things
because
happen.
you're doing several things, which is one is you're taking interest in other people.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The second is you're sharing ideas with people which are objective,
Right.
and that adds knowledge to the industry. And also you're building a community of people who feel safe to share ideas.
Yeah.
So I think that's really what it's about. All of us feel differently about our career journeys. We all have periods where we have doubt. We all have periods where we're feeling great about things, and it's a bit wiggly and it's a bit messy, or whatever phrase you want to use. But as Aporva said, the live reality is always shifting. So what you're trying to do is figure out that kind of, if there's any tension in that, or that you've missed something, you have a bias, or is there a limiting belief that's holding things back?
Yeah.
So, you know, a team is a kind of an organic thing, and it's constantly shifting. So, you know, certainly for us who are kind of more removed from some of the day-to-day things, just being conscious that you might not see things the same way as other people just means you're less likely to bumble into something and just feel like you're disconnected or overbearing or missing things. So, you know, they're the things that keep us up at night, is whether or not we're catching things before they become a problem for people.
Yeah, and also, I think people have to realize that they have a resonance, you know, wherever you are in the company, you know, and to be cognizant of your impact on others, you know, and hopefully we add optimism and positivity, and we always talk like that. But I think certainly for the creative leaders is to realize that, you know, how they act, you know, whether it's on Slack or in the real world, has an impact on people's energy. So we're really kind of conscious of that. But it's funny. I'm always surprised at how every week there's some interesting thing to think about, tackle, someone to help, you know, someone to kind of give a new perspective to. And whether they come in...
And of course, we're learning from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it often sounds like it's a top-down thing.
Yeah.
But when we think about studio, it's a bottom-up thing.
Yeah.
That we should hold things and other people should lift up, not be someone who's projecting downwards.
Absolutely not.
And the reason for that is it's about the work. How you feel affects how your creativity comes out. So what we're trying to do is create an environment where people feel the most creative they can. And there's great energy to community. There's great energy to how you share a culture, because you feel like you're making things together. And if you do that, you're more likely to make things that you find interesting, personal, but you're delivering against whatever creative challenge you have. And that's really what the recipe is about, because we're here to make creativity that fulfills us.
Yeah.
And if we're making work that when you look at it, you go, fuck, that's awesome, then that's a good day. As we came up the stairs, Lorenzo was working on a project and he's printing sheets out. And every time I've been up and down, I've stopped and looked at work, and it gives me great joy. So that's like a transfer of energy.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's about. And if you get that right, you can feel it in the work.
Yeah.
It's critical. I think we always talk about, what does creativity feel like? You know, so there is the work, and you know, you can talk about that specifically, but oftentimes it's a feeling, it's a shared one. It's not just designers, it's producers, strategists, growth team, and so on. But we have almost like an operating system, this ongoing experiment of change that we call super futures, and it allows us to feel liberated from what we do every day, to allow the team to think about ideas that they wouldn't do. And what was more interesting about that than just the specific work was the feeling and energy that it created. So we had work on the studio walls, and I was talking to some folks a couple of months ago, and they were like, oh my God, you put work on the walls, and it feels so natural to us.
Yeah.
And these guys were in maybe some larger agencies and so on, and everything's very neat and tidy and lives in Figma. But the fact that work is on the wall and people are talking about the work openly, which seems what studio life should be, is a critical part of doing two things. One is it allows everyone in the team to hear everyone else. It shares that across the studio.
Yeah.
But it also helps that individual feel like they're connected to the work, and it feels very personal to them. So I think all those things are a part of studio life, you know, that the openness, the ability to have a voice wherever you are, you know, on your journey is critical.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in a really happy place. You've now got the space, the time to sort of step back and work on the agency rather than work in the agency. Now, I suspect it's been like that for a while.
It's an interesting term, that, the idea of working on the business, because you do get lost in it for sure. But my feeling is that you should be right in the middle of it, tearing things up and remixing things all the time, because that's the nature of creative entities. You can't ever settle. And it's a weird thing, because sometimes you feel like, are you on a treadmill? Are you like just doing it for the sake of it?
Yeah.
But of course, if you get sent back to work that makes you feel more, as I say, fulfilled, then there's like a raison d'etre and there's a reason for doing it. And the business is a vehicle for us to express ourselves as professional creatives. And we're at a pivot, really, or a kind of inflection point for the company, because the recent years have been quite tough on the industry. We've all had lots of different trials and tribulations, so we've had to be strong and well balanced to protect ourselves from that. But I've got a feeling that we need to start swinging back now. We all collectively as an industry need to take on what's next and not be pushed around and prove the value of what we all do. So that's the mind state we're in. We're in a state of mind which is creativity is a superpower for everything. It makes the world a better place. It's the fabric, design is the fabric of everything. So let's go make something amazing. Let's make things that are optimistic. Let's share ideas that are useful to people. Let's make things feel better. So that's I guess that's the basic vibe.
Yeah, the energy at the moment feels it's moving that way, because this year's felt a bit gloomy. Last couple of years, actually.
Well, since COVID.
It's interesting. It's, you know, we kind of, in here at least, try and create our own reality. And that reality is everything that we're talking about, that energy and spirit. And of course, you know, you get buffeted by the world, and, you know, you see that happening. You know, not just in our industry, but everywhere. And so what we try and do is get our heads down and do things on our own terms. And that comes back to the idea of having those principles of being restless. I think, you know, we're 24 years in, which is kind of a really interesting journey. And we've seen it as eras where we've had to change and adapt. Either that's personally, you know, together and as a company. But every couple of years, and to be honest, actually more frequently, we just keep changing and keep adapting and kind of recharging ourselves. We're our own battery cells, essentially.
You also want to change before you're changed.
Right.
Yes.
So the problem is, if you don't change on your own terms, something will happen which will outrun you. And then that's when it gets really stressful. So when things are good is when we change things, not when things are bad.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So we've always, as soon as we feel good, I start getting nervous. So I think,
well, it's like, oh shit, we're settling.
Well,
you know,
there's another shoe dropping over there.
Yeah.
And at the moment, there's a massive intelligent technology shoe dropping over there.
Oh my God. Is that like with you two as well, with your relationship? Do you have to work on it as well?
We work in the company. So the way it works is there's a space between us.
Yeah.
So I trust him implicitly. Whatever he does, I trust him more than 100%. And I hope reciprocally.
Absolutely.
But when we talk about work, what we're doing, it's a constant thing of what should we do next? But we're talking about DixonBaxi. We're not talking about him or me.
Yeah.
So this morning we were talking about something. Yesterday we were talking about something. We're just going, what do you think? I think this. What do you think?
Yeah.
Let's do that. And what we're doing it is to the benefit of the entity and to the benefit of the people in the entity. And as long as we talk about that, it feels a lot lighter and a lot easier. It's not about my ego, his ego, what success looks like for us. It's what success looks like for the thing.
Yeah, it creates a momentum. I think the success of maybe the relationship and partnership is you know, I've known Si for 30 years, so he's kind of like he's a brother, you know, in that sense. And so it goes much deeper than, you know, just being a partnership in a business. However, the way we work is it's almost like a rowing team as well. You know, each has a stroke, but also there's a momentum. There's a
Sorry.
Oh my God. Hopefully not, eh?
I think you saw something or felt something then. I didn't.
But
that speaks a lot to you.
Both going red.
but the point is,
I usually go red.
that
This is going to be the highlight.
there's a momentum that we have to keep, right?
Yes,
There's a sense
absolutely.
of positivity and
It's because it's warm in here as well.
yeah, it's really. I'm feeling very warm, but
It's actually not too hot.
It's kind of a
actually. I think it
perpetual
might be the
machine,
best.
you know.
Yeah.
And you have to respect each other to do
Yes.
that. You know, and push everything forward together.
And if the ego does come out, which I'm sure it does because we're all human, do you sort of get out an instrument and give them a good whip around the head?
I don't think it does anymore.
No.
Kind of manage to just iron that.
No, I don't think we think like that anymore. I think when you're younger, of the early stages of your career, you're very selfish and narcissistic, but that's your job. You're supposed to figure yourself out, your place in the world. Once you get to our level of experience, time moves really slowly for us. Decision making is slower.
Because you can relax.
Yeah, it's like I feel hyper confident about things. I get stressed in the same way everybody else does.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely a very impatient person. So there's a thing inside me that kind of a tiny bit, yeah.
Carry on.
Okay, but there is. I'm always
I'm
interested.
surprised by that.
Yeah, you don't think that's a?
Well, no, not really.
Oh, really? I thought you were joking there.
Yeah, so did
I
I
was
actually.
just taking
Yeah.
a pick.
Yeah, I thought I was going to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
I
stepped.
feel like you can't sit still, but I wouldn't describe it as impatient.
Yeah, okay, but I appreciate that. That's very kind of you to
But
say
I think
so.
there's sort of
But,
like, I don't know if this is for every founder, but it's sort of a frustrated ambition that
Yeah.
things are not where they
Yeah.
are in your head.
You kind of
so
want it to be
we're like
here.
12 months, 24 months ahead. And that's in the studio as well. So the work that we're doing now, it redefines us
Yeah,
in the
no
next
one's seen
12
it.
months. So we're living a reality that is in the future. And I'm sure that's in every
Yes,
studio.
of course.
But I think, you know, in the space that we're in, we've always been like, well, we have to get here. How do we get here really quick? And so on a daily basis, you can feel frustrated, but I think you just turn that into momentum, energy,
thing, yeah.
encouragement, moving the team forward.
Yeah.
So that's the drive, and
Yeah.
that's the engine that drives everything, right?
And are you focusing purely on what you're doing, or do you feel like competitions might be snapping at your heels a little bit? Because that's certainly grown over the last 24 years.
No, I think competition is a bit crazy in that. If you think about what we do, we respect enormously. We love the industry.
Yeah.
As an industry, it does amazing things. It's highly progressive. Obviously, there's some structural things, and not everything's perfect. But if you think how much change has happened in the last 2.5 decades since we've had DixonBaxi, it's quite profound.
Yeah.
And it's on a trajectory that is at the edge of where change is happening in the world. It's really progressive. It's way more diverse than other industries. It's culturally useful and relevant. It makes a difference to people. And I like the fact that everyone can be successful in that. You don't need to compete. We don't pitch creatively, so we're not head-to-head directly with people. We bounce into other agencies because clients and prospective clients have choices. But that's cool. It's fine. You know, you earn your work through your reputation, the way you show up, how you carry yourself, and how you deliver. And you get the work you deserve. And there's a truth to the industry is you settle based on your talent, but actually settle based on the decisions you make and the effort you put into what you do. And that puts you where you are. And there's space for everyone, I think. And I like that. And, agencies are like empires. They rise and fall. And they rise and fall for different reasons. People get bored, people change, people move, people like sticking it out. There's no one linear way of running an agency or being as a creative person. So you want to account for all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter to us what other people do. We're not great believers of buying the bullshit of the structure of our industry. What we buy is the benefit and beauty of what our industry does.
Yeah.
And staying relevant, right? You know, again, if we'd stayed static from day one and said, right, we're only going to do this, that takes us on a certain path. But working with the companies and businesses that we do at that scale, you have to have relevance in the world, or the work does. You know, it does come back to that. You create the environment to create great work that actually means something and fits into people's lives, and that's a critical part of it. But projects like Super Futures, the book, we don't need to do them, but they're the things that give us breath and energy and oxygen to allow us to kind of explore where we might go. And then that feels very true to who we are. And then we can tap into that and hopefully bring that to the work itself.
There's another thing as well. Is you always have two choices. You can carry yourself well,
Yeah.
or you can carry yourself a different way. So there are people in our industry who choose the other way. They're bombastic, combative, don't necessarily see the way that the world the way that other people do. Our job is just in the things we can control to have a good footprint, carry ourselves honourably, do the right thing, have a beacon for ourselves about a level of creativity and the effect of that creativity we create together. And then whatever else happens is not our responsibility ultimately. That's what we do. So if someone else wants to do something a little bit fruity or different, that's on them. You know, we just don't care.
Nothing wrong with saxumas.
No, well, I nearly
back to that.
Yeah, exactly. Or other fruits are available. But yeah, I just think it's about how you carry yourself, because it shows up in the work. You can feel it. You know, you can feel it when an agency's stressed. You can feel it when an agency's got difficulty. You can feel it when an agency's lost its way. So that's the thing you're thinking about all the time is, are we on track? So the momentum that Paul's talking about is, we know the work we've done in the last 12 to 18 months the world hasn't seen. So that will move us forward when we release that. We've a series of initiatives that we're doing that will change what we do, the direction of the company, but they won't happen for 3, 6, 9, 10 months.
Right.
So we're always a year and a half ahead of what people think we are.
Yeah.
So if someone tries to steal our lunch or nips our heel or whatever the phrase is, they'll turn up and we'll be there.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. We just see ourselves as a little cork. This little cork is bobbling through the ocean.
Yeah, I like that.
And we're fine.
Yeah.
There's loads of other things, but we're fine. Our little space is cool. And that's really all it's about.
I think we get asked a lot because we open source so much, through the DixonBaxi way, through the essentials, through journeys, and we find in the way that you do, you share all of this. And to be honest, actually, I think that's one of the great things that is happening in the industry is that lots more people are being more generous about how they work because they're confident in themselves.
Yes.
And actually, it doesn't take anything away from us. In fact, it gives people something. And we'd like to see other agencies surface, other ideas surface. And I think, the danger that we face is that even though that happens, there can be a flattening of design and creativity because everyone sees everything so immediately. And so there's a danger that everything looks like everything else. So we have this really interesting time where I think, new people kind of resurfacing can redefine what we're making, why we're making it, how it exists in the world. So I think that's a really exciting cusp or tipping point, technology aside, that challenge is still there.
There's another thing as well, is time is finite and energy is finite. So you only have so much energy.
You only have so much time.
Oh, well, definitely.
Right.
So if you're spending time and energy looking outwards at what other people are doing, worrying about what's happening, worrying about reputation relative to somebody else, you're not spending time on what makes you great at what you do. So we spend all our time just on our relationships, our relationship with people like you, our relationship, the team relationship, our relationship with the clients, our relationship with the people we know in the industry. And we want all of those to be connected and generous relationships, because generosity is another superpower. If you share and you're generous, you give ideas out, you help people, it's reciprocal. And there's no downside to that. No. There's just no downside. And I just think when things are tricky, when people are trying to develop their careers, when people are uncertain, that's the time you should double down on those things, not be sharpening your elbows and having a go at people. Yeah. And you can see that there's a generation of agencies that have developed which are just much more altruistic. They're more intelligent about how they go about things. And it goes back to what you and lots of other people are doing in our community to make it easier to understand for people. It makes it smaller in a sense, or intimate is the word. Yeah. Which is really good. And I like the idea that people have permission to be the best version of themselves rather than a shit version of someone else, which I think really is another big part of it.
Yeah, Creative Boom tries to take that veneer away.
Yeah, exactly.
It does, very well.
Be a bit more warm and cuddly.
Yeah.
And not agree either.
I think you bring a human perspective to it.
Yeah.
Whether you're front of screen or behind it, you really do get that. And I think it's really important because people come at the industry in different ways. I was speaking to someone that just graduated from an MA. She's studied in India and she's like, I'm going to stay here. How do I move forward? And I think, whether it's Creative Boom or other resources, gives people or students or graduates an idea of what to expect, and that there's so much more to the creative industry than being a designer.
Or wearing black.
Or wearing black, you know, we're kind of epitomise that archetype at the moment. But yeah, I think that's really exciting, and it takes up, you know, a good amount of time in the best way possible to be able to do that.
I think we may have covered it a little bit, but what are you most afraid of?
Afraid of?
Yeah. What's the fear?
Not being relevant, not being useful.
Yeah.
Because loads of other things you can solve. So, you know, if you get a bit lost, you can find yourself again. If you've got some doubt, you can talk to people and find, you know, speak to someone who's trusted. But if you take your eye off the ball and you do some of the things we talked about a moment ago about looking around, or you get caught into the trappings of the industry, you take your eye off the thing you actually do well. And I think if you do that, then you can start to atrophy a bit and drop back.
Yeah.
So my feeling is that most great agencies are kind of multi-generational. Lots of different people from backgrounds, age groups, lived realities. And what you want is everybody to feel like they're making a difference. You know, that they're fulfilled through doing something where they feel like they're part of that. And that's the thing that kind of drives me, is I want to be useful and relevant and make things that people find useful. And I'm talking about the end audience we design for, because that's hundreds of millions of people. And if you don't do that well, you see very quickly it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that's really what it's
about. I think for me it's similar in some ways. It's settling. It's being happy with where we are, believing the hype, and not saying that there is hype around us. It's just how we believe we're doing and operating for ourselves. So I think settling is a critical one, because then it can kind of lead to a sense of boredom. And we certainly don't want our team to be bored with the work. And we want to make work with real energy and attitude that excites us. You know, it's a challenge. So some of the businesses that we work at are at real scale, and the thing with that is that the bigger they get, the more rounded they can become, and they can lose their pointedness, their opinion on the world. So I think, you know, the big challenge is to maintain that energy and do something new, because we've done this for a long time. So the fear is that we're repeating ourselves. You know, we're just kind of playing the same album. So we need to reinvent and disrupt ourselves. And I think that's what we're in the mode of at the moment, and the thing Simon's talking about. And we like that. You know, let's not follow our own recipes. And it takes time to break habits and make new ones.
Oh, gotcha.
But it's very exciting.
We've always had this thing about not looking back. So as I sit here, I don't think about time in that length, because if I think about how long we've been working, and I've been working,
shocking,
it's a long time. But I don't think like that. It doesn't feel like a long time, because I'm never thinking about it. It feels like I'm literally here in the moment, and it's always about what's next. And it gives you great power, because in any given moment you have all the things you have: the team, our experience, our portfolio, our position in the world, how we feel, the tools and techniques, our principles, our relationships. You have all those things. So you can go, well, why don't we go do something now? And it's not about what we did before. It's like, you've got these things, you've got permission to go do something. What is it? And it feels lighter and more dynamic, and it means the work is constantly looking forward to what the new version of it is versus whatever our back catalogue might be.
Now, the world's changing so fast, faster than ever. In your 24 years, I'm sure you both agree that it's crazy how technology is shifting everything. What are you most excited about?
There's two things in that, I think. One is, what year did you start working professionally?
2000.
Okay, so think about all the things that didn't exist in 2000.
Yeah.
So Google, smartphones, self-driving cars, everything, Uber, Deliveroo, all the things and the fabric of your life now, most of them didn't exist in 2000. So we've been through profound and constant change in the last 2.5 decades, and we're just doing a different phase shift. This will be a big phase shift, but the intelligent technologies and the spectre of things like AI will become something more than a tool. So people talk about AI and technology as a tool and something that we have to put the human in and blah, blah, blah. It'll actually become an infrastructure and the fabric of everything we do in our entire lives. The way we navigate the world, culturally, behaviourally, system-wise. And there'll be good and bad to that, like every other technology. But the thing is, you'll have to work with it collaboratively. It'll be a shared intelligence. So what we're trying to figure out is how human imagination, idiosyncratic thinking, meaning, value, direction, all of those things are used collaboratively with whatever version of our industry comes next. And it's about being useful, meaningful, and relevant to people and solving the challenges that the world has. So that's how we're going to meet whatever's next. We feel pretty optimistic, don't we?
I think so.
We feel good.
Yeah, I think, look, there is real opportunity. We had a diagram, let's say it's a triangle. At the bottom is sort of the commoditized layer of design, right? You know, the banner ads, the things that AI will probably, take over.
Yeah.
You move up into sort of systems that Figma, Canva, Affinity, all of those things can start to make with a prompt because the world exists.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is that there's a real challenge to the industry. So in the positive, it squeezes everyone up to focus on originality, on craft, on the idiosyncrasy, on those sort of human characteristics. But then, at the top of the pyramid, there's strategy and storytelling, the fact that people still exist in the world and we have to. It doesn't matter if you get the answer immediately. It doesn't matter if you have to like it. You have to believe in it. An organization then has to take that. So there's a reality to that side of things. But then at the top of the pyramid, it kind of opens out again. And I think what we're talking about is what happens beyond that. And that's what we want to chart. It's a new frontier. And I think we're interested in how we show up in that. And that might mean that we change the modes with which we make stuff and how that appears, but that's part of the problem solving. As a creative entity, the idea of a brand agency just may evolve, and where we show up is going to be different.
It will definitely. It's already evolved.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The way that branding works is entirely different to how it used to be.
Yeah.
When we started out, it was a fixed state thing. You changed something and then attached it to everything it's done. Then it became an interactive phase. And now it's a highly personalized, ultimately fully connected system, which is massively complex. And showing up in the world in a way that's helpful to people is really quite tricky. But it's basically about showing people that you care. It's giving people a reason to believe in things, care about things, desire things. That's what it's really about. So we're going to meet the world in that mindset. And, recently we did a brand for an AI health tech business. Mm-hmm. And they're using AI to look at early cancer detection.
Wow.
And what they can do is increase the survival rates of things like prostate and breast cancer to the high 90% if they get the data early enough. Mm-hmm. So for us, that's when technology gets interesting. Yeah. The brand was created traditionally, but what they're doing, the way that they're allowing people to live with cancer rather than die with cancer, changes a really profound problem for people and retools it in a way that they can deal with it. It's still going to be highly difficult. And we've been working with a lot of companies like that, which are using enhanced technologies to solve actual problems. Things like climate change, health tech and things like that. So I think working with the companies which have the ability to make the world a better place is an interesting thing. And then making brands which are useful and work for people, whatever the next version of our industry is the other thing. And if we keep doing that, I think we'll have a good place in the world to still care about what we do and make a difference, hopefully.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well,
Yeah.
I feel warm and optimistic
Amazing.
and very inspired. Thank you so much for having us and chatting through. Spending time inside DixonBaxi is a reminder that great work doesn't happen by accident. It's the culture, the clarity, the craft, and the people who show up for it every single day. Seeing how Aporva, Simon and the team think, collaborate and push each other, it's no wonder this studio has become such a benchmark in our industry. I hope this lifted a little of the mystery for you and showed why so many creatives look to them for inspiration. And if there's any studio you'd love us to visit next time, do let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.